Hey everyone, your friendly neighborhood Chris Lambert here, co-host of Watching the Throne, a lyrical analysis of Kanye West, and we're gonna do a quick breakdown of what we might expect or everything we know from Yandhi, which seems to be Kanye's new album. As you can see, he tweeted this out tonight, kind of shocking the Kanye fandom and the internet. He had tweeted just the image earlier, and people wondered if it could have anything to do with Yeezus. I mean, if you're watching this video, you probably know what the Yeezus album cover looks like, but just in case. And we at Watching the Throne are big fans of Yeezus. We wrote the fucking book on Yeezus. So we're pretty hyped about this potential album. So you can see Kanye earlier today had tweeted this, but it came after this initial tweet saying September 29th, Adam Driver and Yandhi. And Kanye had tweeted this out with the text message, let me minimize this so you can see, call me. And shortly after that, they corrected it to show September 29th, Adam Driver, Kanye West. So that was the first hint of anything regarding Yandhi. And shortly after a bunch of speculation, this is what we got. So fucking exciting. So Yandhi, what can it mean? What can it be? It's kind of a weird word. The first person to kind of make it clear to me was one of our Twitter followers, Alex M. Johnson. And he had made the comparison between Ye and Yeezus and Ye and Gandhi, which seemed just kind of comical to me at first, but actually when you think about what Kanye did with Yeezus, is it that far of a stretch to think that Yandhi would be the next character? Life of Pablo was also Kanye taking on a persona. In this case, it was the Spanish name for Paul the Apostle, using Pablo instead, which got at Paul the Apostle, but also Pablo Picasso and also Pablo Escobar, as Kanye was dealing with the tension between being a religious man, a artist, and, not a drug dealer, but somebody in the public space that has to control their image, that has a product, a businessman, all of those kinds of things. And how do you balance all of that? And Life of Pablo was that journey. Whew. So Yandhi doesn't seem too crazy of a name for this album, and the idea that Kanye has been talking about, if you go back through a lot of these tweets, and now I will make them larger, one of the things that we saw with Kanye's Twitter account leading up to Ye was all of the stuff about performance artists and ego and loving everyone, and they foretold some of what we ended up seeing on Ye and Kids See Ghosts, specifically with the idea that Kanye was killing his ego. We see that ego roar to life on I Thought About Killing You, which is what that song's getting at. I mean, there's a lot of layers to it, but overall, it's this confrontation with the self. Getting into mental health, getting into this idea of being who society wants you to be, which is what Kanye has been exploring since My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, since 808s, really. Pinocchio Story, getting into Runaway, getting into Yeezus, Life of Pablo. It's all about this tension between who you are and who celebrity and society makes you. And Kanye has talked a lot over the last couple months about the idea of the simulation and society shaping us into what society thinks is best for us or deems appropriate for us, rather than people just being people. The example he likes to give is the 2-year-old that stands up on the table and starts yelling out and dancing and having fun, maybe thinking he's a superhero on top of the world. But society says, get down off that table. You need to be down on the ground. You need to behave. You can't act that way. And that life just kind of starts containing you and shaping you. So Kanye, in tweeting out so many of the performance artists that he was tweeting out, was kind of making this connection between what society makes us, that we're all performance artists until we break the simulation. That's what we see on Ye. The first 3 tracks are him part of the simulation, part of him caught up in the persona that he thinks he has to be before Wouldn't Leave, and him realizing that he doesn't have to be this person, that he can be a better version of himself, a truer version of himself. And we get No Mistakes, Ghost Town, and Violent Crimes, which shows this trend of somebody who had been way more destructive and confrontational becoming more innocent and positive. The same kind of journey happens on Kids See Ghosts, just more spiritual than external. Ye ends up being concerned a lot with the outer world, where Kids See Ghosts is more concerned with the spiritual, the internal. So maybe everything that he's been tweeting about leading up to this announcement may also have something to do with what the album is about. And if you look at what he's been tweeting, it's love versus fear, change, I want to we need, something about, as my cat comes roaring down the stairs, the ego is gone, right? Change I want to we need, getting into the collective, the whole. Love is serving others. When you think of something positive, say it out loud. Our whole culture is about balance. The cat's excited. Yoga, dance, meditation. He got into highlighting these words that were positive and negatively charged. Here, he's just highlighting the positive words. He even talked about, purchase a dictionary, highlight positive words, craft language charged by African parables, will universal power, manifest world peace. We always associate, who is it with peacefulness? Fucking Gandhi. Just terrified my cat with my excitement and passion for Kanye. You can terrify a lot of people with excitement and passion for Kanye. So Gandhi is somebody that we look to as peaceful and promoting world peace and trying to fight for peace through not fighting. You can see, I think, a lot of connections between the associated Gandhi mindset, or the attitudes that we associate with Gandhi as the figure at this point in time, with things that Kanye has been talking about. So it seems that we might be getting that post-ego, looking at the collective, looking at the whole kind of album, where Yeezus was so much about what is society doing to me. Black Skinhead gets into that, New Slaves gets into that, even Blood on the Leaves gets into this. The second half of the album gets more into relationship dynamics and the woe is me nature of relationships leading up to finally finding a potential partner on Bound 2. But the majority of Yeezus is very self-centered, making Kanye, or in this case, the Yeezus character, into a martyr for society. Now that Kanye is out of that mindset, that he's had this spiritual awakening, killed the ego, the album title Ye isn't just about him. He's Kanye, right? He's no longer Yeezus, he's no longer Pablo, it's Ye. But Ye is also the old biblical way of saying the collective. You all. Not just you, but all of you. That's what Ye means. So the lowercase y in it means that it's not just him, it's more so everybody. Which there's a lot to draw from that. The death of the ego, now that the Y is capitalized, him being part of everyone else, that these are real issues that everybody deals with, all of that kind of connotation. So I think Gandhi might be getting into that post-self mindset and into how do we lift each other up? How do we connect? How do we find balance? How do we stop finding division in the world? And this is my favorite thing. Yandhi actually had a definition in Urban Dictionary, which, I mean, it's Urban Dictionary. It only has 6 upvotes and 4 downvotes. So it could be that this is just some random ass fucking thing. But we know that Kanye trolls shit like Urban Dictionary. Looks for stuff on there. So Yandhi, making use of the worst possible item at one's disposal in a manner far exceeding expectation in a positive manner. Oh, so you mean taking something that is looked at as negative and having it be something that's positive? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I mean, he's been talking about negatively charged words, positively charged words. He talked about being bipolar and how instead of viewing that as a negative, he views it as something that is positive. He called it his superpower. Even though it can cause destruction in his life, it's also something that fuels him. It's something that gives him insight. When he was on Jimmy Kimmel, he talked about the TMZ incident. And he said that he wasn't using, in a later interview, he said that he wasn't using the TMZ incident as a excuse for his behavior, but saying that this is an example of my bipolarism. When I get in a ramped up state, this is the kind of way I behave. And on Kimmel, he said that he was happy that people got to see him in that state because they learned something from it. There's things to take away from it. There were things he took away from it. So he doesn't regret TMZ because he viewed it as this positive learning experience, making the best of something that was a worst possible situation. So I think that Kanye might have some layers here in this idea of taking the thing that people view as the worst thing and having it become this positive that exceeded expectation. I love the example here. I'm Yandhiing with Brian Scalabrine on NBA 2K11 right now. He has 25 points. For people that don't know, Brian Scalabrine was this goofy redhead dude. Let's see if this links. Yeah. The greatest basketball player in the history of the NBA. Just a goofy, redheaded white dude. I should bring up a picture. Brian Scalabrine. There we go. That's him. And I believe he won Sixth Man of the Year at one point. But he never really did anything. He just cheered really fucking hard. And everybody got excited about the fact that he would cheer for his team so fucking hard and get so excited. So I'm glad that that's the example that they use for Yandhi. Anyway, the connection to Yeezus, it just seems that Kanye is getting into this mindset. Somebody asked why he would use the mini disc. This is the Sony mini disc, so it's not CD size, it's much smaller. And part of me thinks this motherfucker might just be actually using the mini disc to show the difference in ego. As Yeezus was so egotistical, and now that he's lost the ego, it's like a mini disc. Which, that could be a huge reach, but, you know, we study Kanye for a living, and he's always doing this weird little artistic shit that makes it seem like we're crazy when we explain it, but it's the kind of shit that artists do. So, I don't know, I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to seeing what the album holds. You know, I think soundscape-wise, it could be closer to what we heard at the end of Ye, or it could be a whole new sound altogether. You know, maybe we're getting some minimalism shit. Maybe we're getting some like Afro power stuff. We know that Kanye is going to sample and it's going to be awesome. Maybe we'll get hopped off the boat and made Amistad. No, hopped off the Amistad and made I'm a God. Oh God, I'm so sorry. So sorry we all had to witness that. But we're going to get some interesting shit, and we'll be covering it as news happens and things go down. So on a daily basis, go ahead and check in, subscribe. That would be helpful for us. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers so we can monetize the channel. We hit the 4,000 watch hours we need, which thank you for watching. If we can get that subscriber count up, that would be terrific. But we'll be chugging along. And for the podcast tonight, actually, in like an hour, our Kids See Ghost episode comes out. So we explain that song line by line, deconstructing the narrative and thematics and how it fits on the album. We're going to be doing the same for Yandhi. We'll do the same for Good Ass Job. Check out the podcast. Episodes will post here, but you can also find it on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, all these places. Thank you very much for watching. And if you have any questions, ask them and I'll get to them. Man, we are about to fucking feast. Easy, baby. See ya.